Historically, video games based on movie franchises have been pretty terrible. There are some exceptions throughout the years, such as GoldenEye for the N64 and a few of the Star Wars games, but for the most part, if a game is based on a movie, you know it's going to be bad. The Alien series is one example of an awesome movie that has spawned some truly terrible video games. Personally, I have never played an Alien video game before, but after a quick Google search, it becomes pretty apparent why I would never have wanted to. They all look pretty terrible. Admittedly, Alien isn't the easiest movie to turn into a game. The original movie features an unkillable alien life form who picks off the crew of a spaceship one by one. It fits the classic 80s slasher formula where the killer shares the main character spotlight with the protagonist. Movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, or Nightmare on Elm Street aren't known for Alice Hardy, Laurie Strode, or Nancy Thompson. They are known for Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. Ellen Ripley is a little more iconic, and Sigourney Weaver is a bigger name than the others, but the main thing people think of when they think of Alien is the xenomorph. Because of this, the killer must be a central character, meaning they need plenty of screen time. The killer needs to be a constant threat and prominently seen in the game. However, a game with an invincible bad guy who can kill you in one hit is a broken game. Players want a challenge, but they don't want to feel completely helpless. You want to feel like we can fight back without being too powerful. Alien Isolation does a fantastic job of addressing all of this and balancing it into an exciting and fun experience. The alien is unkillable, and if it sees you, you're basically dead. However, the game gives you ways to fight back, and this creates a compelling and truly terrifying stealth horror game. In Alien Isolation, you play as Ellen Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley. Amanda's mother has been missing for 15 years, but recently the flight recorder for her ship, the Nostromo, has surfaced. This is the same ship from the original movie. Ellen worked for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and they want the flight recorder. So Amanda tags along with a team from Weyland-Yutani to get closure on her mother. The story has a few twists and turns, and it does tie into the story of the films a little bit. Your appreciation for the game will certainly increase if you are familiar with the Alien universe and the movies. However, you can still enjoy the game without watching the movies. The game is a self-contained experience, and it does a good job of explaining everything that you need to know. So don't let not having seen the movies stop you from playing this. Although you really do owe it to yourself to at least see the first one. The story is interesting and engaging, and Amanda Ripley is a superb protagonist. She's not a soldier or an action hero. She's simply a woman that wants to find her mother. The story evolves from there into Amanda fighting for her own survival and eventually doing what needs to be done for the sake of humanity. The story is well-paced and the stakes are high. And with a number of false climaxes and some terrifying realizations, my heart was pounding by the end of the game. Gameplay-wise, Alien Isolation is a first-person stealth game. Despite the fact that you are given a number of different guns, grenades, and melee weapons, this is not a first-person shooter. Ammo and supplies are extremely limited, and you are better off hiding and avoiding detection than you are fighting. Throughout the game, you find blueprints for various devices you can build, such as EMP mines, flashbangs, and Molotov cocktails. However, the cap on what you can carry is low, and these items will only save your life in a pinch. You can't rely on them to clear room after room of bad guys. Enemies include other human survivors, many of whom shoot on sight, rogue androids who are much stronger than humans, and of course the alien. For the most part, he will skulk around the ship in the vents and access tunnels. However, he is attracted to loud noises, gunfire, explosions, etc. So if you run into a group of humans who open fire on you, you better run and hide because the alien's coming. This means that stealth takedowns are preferred. You can use noise to attract the alien to dispose a group of enemies for you. However, he only hunts humans and will ignore android enemies. Early on in the game, you will find a motion detector. This is your most useful tool for survival in the game. Not only will you be able to see enemies when they can't see you, but you will also be able to see the alien coming. Early in the game, if the alien sees you, you're dead, and you will need to use the motion detector constantly to sneak through the ship unnoticed. Aesthetically, Alien Isolation is absolutely beautiful. The graphics are superb, and the dark and dreary space station is downright spooky. The character models are detailed, and you can see individual drops of sweat on their faces. But what impressed me the most was how 80s everything felt. Much like the original movie, the technology has a very 80s vibe to it. On the one hand, humanity has mastered futuristic things such as interstellar travel, but on the other hand, all of the computer terminals and monitors you use are straight out of the Reagan era. The low-resolution, grainy images are such a nice touch, and it really makes you feel like you are playing the original movie. So everything in the game is simultaneously futuristic and clunky and outdated. and I derived a surprising amount of pleasure from seeing this juxtaposition throughout the game. In short, Alien Isolation was an absolute pleasure to play. It is challenging and demands some patience. You can't simply run through levels blowing away bad guys. You need to be careful and methodical, or you will die. But I don't really see this as a drawback. For a stealth-based game, it's pretty forgiving, and save stations are plentiful. There are some sections that can boil down to trial and error, but this is a minor hiccup in an otherwise fantastic game. I give Alien Isolation a brilliantly epic. It's scary, challenging, and thought-provoking. You can become immersed in the universe even without any prior knowledge of the movies. The game is lengthy, and you will definitely take your time beating this game. This is certainly not the kind of game that you can play through in a weekend. The game demands patience and a slower pace. But if you are in the mood for a slower, more cerebral game, Alien Isolation is pretty damn near perfect and one of the best games that I have ever played. This is Frank from Brilliantly Epic, and I'll see you for the next review.
Let me help you.